Hello, everybody. This is Chris from the YouTube channel for BlazeToken.io and the Swap and Go Exchange. Um, what do we have in store today? Well, there's some crypto news out there, and it has to do with Mr. Gensler, and that's why I'm talking about the title. This one is Gensler, Gensler, Gensler. All right. There's some things, as a history major and a history professor that I'd like to teach you. Don't worry, it's not going to be a long, boring history lesson. It's just something that, it needs to be pointed out, it needs to be talked about. You know, what we really need to do is, the politicians are never going to move beyond using fear to manipulate you. It could be whatever fear floats the boat of the people in their party. When I say floats the boat, it's not to make them happy, but whatever rings true in the minds of the people who vote for them, that they're just going to use that fear to get you to vote. It's all manipulation. All right. Whether doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are on, it happens on both sides. All right. So, I mean, it's one thing I don't want to do is combine politics. Everybody here is welcome to it. It's like I don't want to be labeled as, oh, you're a Republican, oh, you're a Democrat, oh, you're a liberal, oh, you're a conservative. It's not what I'm saying. It's like a history lesson of showing you manipulation and to be, to be aware of it. Mm. Before we get into that and everything I'm really going to talk about, I want to talk to you guys about Swap and Go. Swap and Go, let me bring that up here for you. Oop, there we go. And I'll make a big screen for myself. All right, so Swap and Go. I've been talking about this for a while now. I'm on the dev team for Blaze Token and Swap and Go. Of course, I'm going to talk about everything that's going on. You'll notice over here it says BNB now. That is because we now have the ability to trade on the Binance side, right? You can just click that. Oh, hold on. I always forget. You guys have been following me long enough. I click on the wrong screen. You put your pointer over the BNB and it says ETH. Now you'll be trading. You'll be trading on the ETH side. Come over here and you do the BNB, and you're trading on the BNB side. Pretty soon, that's going across chain. All right, so you won't have to say, you know what, I got a lot of my wealth on the ETH side. To go through all these machinations to get it out of ETH and then put it onto the Binance side. No, one click of the button. Our system's going to do it all for you. The only thing you're going to see is you once had ETH tokens, you wanted to have Binance tokens, you clicked and you have it right there. It alleviates the entire headache. All right. And, you buy yourself some Blaze tokens, you're going to stake them. You stake the Blaze tokens, you're going to get a percentage off of your, trading fees. You're going to earn interest like typical staking. And because Blaze token is hyperdeflationary, it's going to go up. All right. Because every trade is going to burn Blaze token. So therefore, you're going to, you stay here, you're going to see your tokens go up. Not financial advice, my opinion. All right. So, do the right thing, get yourself some Blaze, make yourself some money. Again, my opinion. And I would think now you're going to be a very happy person. All right. So let's move on to Gensler. It's like the first thing I noticed, rubbing my face because I'm just like, oh, boy. The first thing I thought of, not going to go Machiavelli, going to go here at Plato. All right. First thing I thought of with Gensler, it's like he runs the SEC, right? We all know that. A lot of us wish he didn't run the SEC. But it's like, don't get into crypto. Don't do this. Don't, the crypto bad. But he voted for the ETFs. He allowed BlackRock and Fidelity, to get their Bitcoin ETFs going, right? I think it's on the table to get the Ethereum ones going as well. And he's out there talking about, it's full of fraud and this, that, and the other thing. put a pin in that for a freaking second. All right. It's like calm your Gensler or whatever down. Just stop. It's so annoying. Um, and it's annoying for the people who are in the know, right? People who don't know this go, oh yeah, look, it's fraudulent. I'll stay away from that. Well, if things like that are so fraudulent, or investing is so fraudulent, remember Lehman Brothers back in 2008? All the fraud that went on there, and that wasn't crypto, boys and girls. That was good old American, uh, digital currency, a lot of it. Okay. Our own money was involved there. That was, investment firms that were sanctioned by the SEC, and it caused a worldwide, downturn, a worldwide recession, a really bad one. People were losing their houses because of all the manipulation, the fraud that went on right underneath the SEC's nose. Right? Come on, man. All right. Let's just stop. Okay. I brought this thing up here. This is Plato. If you've never seen this before, Plato comes from ancient Greece. Okay. He's taught by Aristotle and, you know, Socrates and all this whole line of these really intelligent philosophers. And Plato had this allegory of the cave. And if you see over there, it says, over here, it says on the right side, shadows cast on the wall. And it says, it's got prisoners here, but who these prisoners represent? They represent you and me, right? And you got the powers that be standing behind there, right? They're casting shadows on the wall. They're showing you what they want you to believe, okay? That is what is going on. It says roadway where puppeteers perform, right? So you got the populace, which are represented by the prisoners, and you got those in control who are showing the populace what they want you to believe, okay? And, that is what Plato was 2,500 years ago or so. Don't quote me on that. I am a history professor, but I don't know every date that was out there. I know he came out of ancient Greece, and I'm thinking it was around 2,500, 2,300 years ago, somewhere in there, that Plato did this, and he's very smart. Okay, and this is very relevant to today's world, Gensler. Politicians. That's what I'm saying. It's like Gensler, politicians. We see things on TV. You got to fight against being the prisoners. You got to fight against only believing what the puppeteers want you to believe. All right, and it happens on both sides of the aisle. I'm not getting political and saying, oh, this group is good and this group is bad. Both do it. You got to step away from the show. All right, they only want you to see what's on the wall. What you have to do is you got to look to the side. You got to look this side. You got to look that side. You got to look behind you. You got to see what's going on. All right, and then you get a much clearer picture, because they want your attention over here while they do other things. Okay, I don't have any proof of what I'm going to say here, but you know what? Just think about it. Gensler approves ETFs. All right, BlackRock, Fidelity, they all have a lot of money to gain by doing all these things. Okay, so why would they do this? Well, maybe they don't want the price to go up so much thus far. All right, maybe they haven't finished their wallets. When you go in the Ether scan and you look at wallets, do you really think some of those wallets are not owned by our politicians? Do you really think that those who are putting the puppets on the wall don't have their own wallets, don't have their own money to gain? All right, so I mean, that's what I'm talking about. And it's like when I was saying the politicians, I was just looking over at one of my dogs is whining for no reason. You look back through history, I had this whole thing worked up in my head, but I'm afraid to go into things because there were people, I don't want to make anybody upset, but let's just say that if you open up the history books, don't get the high school history books, get the ones in college. There's this whole thing about college, they teach you this, they teach you. You know what, when you go to college and you study history, it's like the first time that you actually see what actually was going on, in the past. And you can look at things like different presidents from both parties, and you can say, well, I thought that they really wanted to do this. And you look at it and it's like, huh, All right, I don't want to get in specifics because, like I said, I don't want to offend anybody. But I'm just saying that this Plato thing on the wall here, the puppeteers, that's been going on since the beginning of time. All right, and let's get into it. Let's bring up Gensler. All right, this was on Yahoo Finance. Was it yesterday? I think sometime very recently. Yeah, Friday, March the 8th, came out at 3:16 in the afternoon. SEC's Gensler says crypto rife with abuses and fraud as Bitcoin surges to an all-time record. Just look at that right there. It's like the bull run is here. Bitcoin is going crazy. It hit like 70,000 yesterday. I only saw it at 69, like 4, but I read someplace where it briefly went over 70, which is an all-time high. So those people who are saying that it's going to get to 150, 200,000, 300,000, they might be right. I mean, we're not even to the halving yet. We're not even in the month of the halving yet, and it's already hit 70,000. Okay. So on one side, you got Bitcoin going way up. And you got Gensler like trying to put the brakes on things. It's rife with abuses and fraud, right? And then if you come down and you look at things that just talks about what's going on, and then talks about the ETFs, the Ethereum ETFs they're talking about, and it says Gensler on Friday declined to say whether he would approve those applications, and instead spoke more broadly about the wider crypto field, saying it has challenges and is rife with abuses and fraud. Hey, how many banks went out of business last year, my friend? All right. Did banks go out of business because they were doing things the right way? No, I think there's probably abuses going on in those banks. All right. There's a lot of things that were going on. Okay. Like I said, if you go back to 2008, what happened there? Lehman Brothers, I believe it was 600 billion. I think I have to go look that up. I should have looked it up before this, but going on memory, that's something. I was just, came to my head as I was talking about this, but check this out. Jim Cramer, we all know Jim Cramer, reveals dirty tricks short sellers use to manipulate stock prices. Talk about fraud, talk about manipulation, talk about abuses. This is going on right under the SEC's nose, right? And the reason I bring this up is they're not willing to fix this because people are making money off of it, right? They're looking over at crypto and saying there's abuses and fraud. There's abuses in everything, all right? There was abuses and fraud going on in 1929 when the stock market crashed. Stock market under, we have the SEC now, right? Things like that with normal investments went on. Okay, so let's not paint with a brush, one side good, one side bad. Let's use our brains. Let's step back. Let's not let the puppeteers behind us, show us what they want us to see, because those puppeteers are stuff in their pockets, my friends. All right, there's stuff going on. Like, do I have proof of this? No, but it's common sense. Okay, that this stuff is going on. I'm not going to play this video. I just wanted you guys to be aware of it. But as most of us know, Jim Cramer is a big hedge fund guy, right? And in here he talks about there's no room for truth in the hedge fund market. I think it's like 5 minutes in or something like that. He says it, all right? And he talks about how there are companies that have great books and they have a great record and they have, I think he was talking about research in motion in this thing, and how they should have gone up, but there's manipulations and tricks that they could use to keep something from going up. And these hedge fund managers were controlling who? Us. All right. They were like the puppeteers. They were manipulating things, making people think one thing when things are really like the other. And they were controlling our wealth. They were controlling our futures. All right. Do you think there's any difference between what Cramer is saying in that video and what Gensler is doing over here? I seriously doubt it. All right. And the reason I bring up politics is some people are saying, well, Gensler, he was elected by these people. If you go down the historical timeline, all right, and you look at all the things it's done by both sides. Both sides are making us fight. Both sides are filling their pockets. All right. And both sides don't want us to see what's beyond the the puppets on the wall, the shadows on the wall. They want us to keep, both sides want us to keep us like there. And if we fight one another, we'll ignore all this stuff. All goes into play with these things, okay? They like to take advantage of people. It's what they do. Okay? That's, I have a cousin that calls Washington, it calls it it doesn't matter which party they're in. It's like I said, I'm not going on a party line here, but he calls them all Congress critters. And he says, the United States has the best Congress critters that money can buy. There's a lot of truth to that. Okay. So whether it's Gensler, whether it's the next person, whether it was like 3 people back that, running the SEC, there's games going on. There always have been games going on. There always will be games going on. All right. So instead of just looking at one way or the other, step back and try and see the entire picture. And when you step back and you see the entire picture, you'll be able to play the game as well. Or at least you'll be able to play it much better than you were before. Okay. And, I want you to learn from this, I hope. I want you to like and subscribe. Give me some comments. What's your views? All right. Please go ahead and do that stuff. Also, don't forget Swap and Go Exchange, right? Cheaper gas fees. You can go B&B, you can go Etherscan, you can limit swap, you can just swap, you can stake. There's all kinds of things. Hey, there might be games coming on here. There's all kinds of things. There's NFTs coming. This is going to be one-stop shopping for everybody. All right. So it is an awesome thing. It's just going to get even more awesome. All right. Have a wonderful Saturday, and I will see you soon.